Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first ever talk show, Beyond Beauty, Real Conversations, Real Women. My name is Tracey Walker, and I am honored to be here with my business partners today, Heidi, Denelle, and Christelle. Heidi is from the USA, Denelle is from Canada, and Christelle is from France. And every second week we are going to be coming on and doing a talk show and just having, like I said, real conversations, real women. So we're super excited to be starting this, and we hope that you will join us in the conversations too. So ladies, we have rebranded and changed the business page name and kind of, our whole working together and our branding to Beauty Inside Her. How did we come up with that name?
What's that?
You want to go for it? Just jump on in.
Heidi?
We were having lots, like we were bouncing around lots of ideas, lots of names, right? And then it was just like all of us kind of like that was it. Right. So what was it? What was it? I guess this is a better question. What was it about Beauty Inside Her that you connected with, that you said, yes, that's it?
I can start if you want with my little English. So I am Christelle and I jumped to start speak English, and I love that. So when you propose the name Beauty Insider, I say, okay, because beauty is the large name and normally is something natural. And now I am a woman mature. I know that beauty comes inside me first to be brighting with the outside. And I love the name. I love the play of game with Beauty Insider to go outside. And it was logical. And I don't know for you, but in my ear, in French, Beauty Insider is melodic, is a beautiful name, and I like it.
I love that. I didn't even think of it from that French perspective. Love it.
Voilà.
And Denelle, Heidi?
I think that when with the name, it's like we think of, the outside beauty, but when we look within, that's the beautiful part about everyone is what is inside of us, what comes out of us, what's around us versus, and that's what I love, what I want to talk about, and just what makes us, what is our whole, what is our soul, I guess, what we're made of. And I think that beauty inside her is just like what is inside her,
inside her.
Like
yes.
so magical.
Much.
Yes.
Awesome.
100%. Yeah, there's just definitely so much more to beauty than what the outside world tells us. And
yes.
and that's where I wanted to go, like this whole, because beauty isn't like a real thing, right? It's a social construct. It's something that people made up, right? So when did you first kind of become aware of this whole notion or social construct of beauty in your life? Like how old were you, and what did that like look like at that time?
I could start. So I remember sitting in my bathroom when I was little, and my mom would be in the mirror doing her makeup. And I remember we weren't going anywhere. And I thought, why is she getting ready? And my daughter asked me that same question today. What are you getting your makeup on for, doing your hair? We're not going anywhere. And I said, because it makes me feel good. And so I guess looking back at my mom and my older sister doing their makeup, that was beauty to me then. But it was, thinking about it, was much more than them putting on makeup. They were they felt good. And I saw that feeling that they had, not just the look, what they
So
saw.
at an early age, you already saw like kind of this transformation when they were,
Yes.
you know, from before they had their makeup on while they were putting it on, and then how they showed up after that.
Yes, just that boost of confidence, that little bit of care that they took for themselves in the morning, and it just radiated, I guess. That was beautiful to me.
Love that.
Yeah.
Denelle, when did you first kind of, as a young girl, become aware of beauty and what beautiful meant?
I would say a lot of that came from watching my mom as well. And but I distinctly remember my grandma like visiting her place, and she had this vanity and this stool and like all of her perfumes and her lipsticks and stuff like that. Like she was or is always put together, and loves her lipstick, loves her red nail polish and stuff like that. And it was just very, I would say, beyond her years, if that always made sense. Like she was always ahead of her time. And I just remember watching that and seeing her confidence in photos and stuff, and like very bold, like they're from Europe, they're from Germany, and like just seeing her walking, like there's a photo of her in Hawaii and she's topless and stuff, and like it's beautiful, it's just stunning, and I'm like, that is so free, it's freedom. Yeah I really noticed that.
Love
And
that.
Christelle,
For me, I was a little girl, and when I was a little girl, it was very not a real question to be beautiful. But when I was 6, my mom did cut my hair very short, because in my hair there was little beast, you see, the I don't know and for my mother it was really horrible, it was shaming. You know, she came from African, and it was a big problem to have kids with problem in hair. So when she cut my hair, I realized I didn't the same little girl as my friend, and I realized that it was important to be beautiful like my friend, you see. And it was the start for me to be obsessed with to be beauty, but not to be beauty to be better than you, but to be confidence. And voila. And I realized that beauty was important to be strong, to be accept with my friend, I think, but even if it was wrong. But voila, it starts when I was very, very young with my hair short.
Yeah. See, it's funny for me because I don't remember, like, I come from a whole line of women who don't wear makeup or hardly wear any makeup, right? So for me, I never really would watch my mom put on her makeup or anything like that. She just, for me, was naturally beautiful. I think when I first really became aware of like beauty was when I started figure skating. And then I, got older, started to grow up and, be more competitive and really getting into figure skating and just watching the grace and the elegance and the flow on the ice. Like for me, that was that was beauty for me. And I just, it wasn't like a physical thing, so to say, but I guess in a way it was, because it was the way the body was moving and the shapes and the power and like just everything about skating for me was just beautiful. And I think that that's when I, first connected with this whole notion of beauty. And then of course, as we go through teenage years, it becomes something else and something more and something that's really difficult for young women to navigate.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I understand.
Right. and all the like social pressures and everything, right, that comes along with that, and that belonging and that whole like finding your place in the world. And it revolves around a lot of it, I think, for young women in particular, really does revolve around beauty.
Yes, it's that find your place in the world. And it starts with your, I think, with your appearance, with your move, with your way of work.
Yeah. I kind of think when we like nowadays, with teenagers or whatever, we search so much outside instead of inside. What we feel like, all of us talking here, I hear confidence. When we were younger, we thought of beauty as so much confidence. And I think when we look outside, social media, school, whatever, it becomes almost an ugly feeling versus looking inward and finding our own beauty. I don't know how to say it, but there's too much opinion and too much social pressure on what beauty is.
Well, and that's just being amplified, right, with social media. Like, at least we didn't really have to live through all that during our teenage years. And now, like, your daughters, sons, nieces, nephews, like all the social pressure with social media and all of like the influencer culture, and that has really just amplified all of that. And I think, quite possibly a contributing factor in like the higher rates of depression and anxiety and mental health for young people. Not only the pandemic and all of that's really amplified that as well, but I think social media has been so damaging to young people's mental well-being.
100%. Like, I remember looking through magazines and stuff like that, and looking at like Nikki Taylor, and I was just like, oh, she's stunning, like I want to be like her. And like, that's where we came from, right? And so it's definitely a different generation. And even with Braun, he said to me one time, like, I want to put on makeup, Mom, so I look beautiful. And I had to really step back, because he does watch me too, right? And I'm like, you're beautiful, just the way you are. Like, you don't need makeup or anything like that. Like, if he wants to wear it, go for it, right? But I'm totally okay with that. But it's just like to like really make sure you're setting those different layers for them to build upon through their life, because it's a different ball game out there for sure.
It sure is.
Yeah,
it sure
definitely.
is. It sure is. Yeah. So then, going back to that younger version of you and your first like understanding of what beauty meant to you, how has that evolved over the years now that you're adult women and have your own children? And how has your notion of beauty changed over the years, over the decades?
It's inner, it's deep. It's not per se a visual to me. It's a feeling. It's how someone can make you feel. Like, certain things are beautiful versus a beautiful face. Like you were saying earlier, Tracey, about the flow of, the skating, it's just so much more than a look. I'll stop. Go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you, Heidi. It's a feeling now. I think it's a really feeling. And for my part, now I think it's important to feel beautiful, not be beautiful, because it's important, because I think we are legacy from my family. If I don't like my face, my hair, it's like I don't like my mother, my father. If I don't like my smile, it's like I don't like my son who has the same smile like me, you see? So for me, beauty, it's a feeling you need to love, you see? It's love for yourself.
Yes. That reminds me of my sister, because my nieces both have glasses, and my sister was thinking of getting contacts, and she said, I can't, because then the girls are going to think that it's wrong to have glasses, and that, right? And so it's that same kind of notion, right? They're not going to feel beautiful if I make the decision that glasses don't make me feel beautiful, right? Like, yeah. So
exactly.
I really like that. I really connect with that. Yeah, absolutely. Now, has there ever been a time in your life where you haven't felt beautiful?
Say again?
When you haven't felt beautiful.
I can be really raw about this question. I had just had my daughter Ellen. She is 8 now, and we came home from the hospital. And I'm gonna say, so my husband and I were going to. Can I say this?
You can go for it.
Okay, I'm going to say it.
Real conversations, real women.
We were going to make love, and I was laying there, and I had the baby belly, and when I laid on my side, my belly laid on the bed, and it was there, and I looked at him, and I'm like, I felt so ugly. And I told him out loud, because I'm very verbal about how I feel, how I think about myself. And I think I do that for the affirmation. Is that the word? Just like, how do I look to you? But even if someone tells me I look beautiful, I still judge myself. So back to inner beauty. What do I really think about myself? Someone could tell me I look great all day long, but it's up to me if I believe it or not in my own mind. And so I guess that was one of my times among many that I felt very ugly. But then I look at the real picture. I just had a beautiful baby.
Absolutely. The most beautiful thing in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Christelle, Denelle?
Go ahead, Christelle.
So the question is, when I feel
Was there
beautiful,
ever a time that you didn't feel beautiful?
I never feel beautiful. It's clear. I have never think I was a beautiful girl, because I think I was different of all my entourage. And but when I start to control my hair, my clothes, and my way to talk, I start to feel beautiful, you see? But I think I feel beautiful, but it was difficult. It was always a hard job to control my hair, to control my weight, my waist.
Right.
And I felt beautiful, but for me it wasn't real, because it wasn't really me. I have the same face when now and when I am 13. So I don't understand why I'm beautiful today. But as I did, it's a hard work all the life. But when my first son is birth, I look him and I say, oh no, it's impossible that this boy has a mom who feel zero, who feel not good, you see? And now I start to feel but I'm beautiful, not because I am a mom and I am better than no, but now I'm not alone. And someone depends on me, but my son, but my husband, people when I leave. So I start to feel beautiful at this moment. I realize, I feel, in fact, I'm beautiful. I am a woman, I am an adult. And I think I can be an example sometimes, a good example or a bad example, no matter. I think like that, you see?
Yeah, totally understand. Totally understand. And what advice would you give to any women, whether it be a friend, family member, colleague, whatever, a woman who's in this space where just kind of self-loathing and does not see her beauty?
I would say, oh yeah.
No, say no. Go, Denelle.
Okay. Just that less is more, but also, I don't know, that doesn't see their beauty. Like with me, a lot of mirror work came in, like in my adult life, came into to play, and it's just like pick one thing that you love about yourself and love up on that. Like look in the mirror, if it's like my eyes or whatever, because I'm always like, my smile, it's a crooked smile and all these things. But I love what Christelle said, like that's your family's history. And I'm like, that's such a beautiful way of putting it. And I never looked at it that way. So I was like, that I just love that. And I'm going to remember this and move forward with that.
I
like,
will as well. And actually that would be the advice probably that I would say to somebody, right? Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah, but definitely pick one thing you love about yourself and just look in the mirror and just say all the things you love about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be mine for sure.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Christelle, did you want to add anything else?
It's the same as Denelle, but I said, take a picture of you when you was younger, or a picture of you where you don't like you see, and give love to this person. You see, I remember I have the worst picture of me. I am 13. I am like a player of football with little mustache. You see, is the worst picture of me. And for a long time, each time I see this picture, I think, oh my God, it's horrible. And I am this girl inside of me. And today, my husband take this picture and put on the wall in the living room for everybody. And the first reaction was very, very funny. And I decided to put off this picture and hide it. And then I said, no, this little girl needs love. This girl needs love. That. So j'ai repris, I take back this picture and I put on my wall again. And every day when I see this picture, I say, okay, I love you. You were funny, you were shy, you were sympathetic. I give you my love, you see? And I advise for people who don't feel beauty, there is a reason. So look at you on the picture that you don't like you and give you love. Sorry.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
I think every day, is a new beginning. Every day is a new day. We wake up, we can, make different decisions or whatever. And I think every day is a new day to love ourselves, to find something beautiful in yourself. And not every day is going to be a good day, but I love what you say about, so you had the picture up on your wall. And I thought back to the picture of me when I was 14, and I think, oh gosh, I wouldn't want that picture on my wall either. My forehead was full of acne, like terrible. to look back and, tell that little girl, that is all of us, our inner child. It's what we feed every day, it's okay, or you are beautiful, like you are good enough, you can be confident, that is such a strong point, telling.
Yeah.
And it's believing it too, though. It's not just speaking it to ourselves in the mirror. It's, I am beautiful. I am good enough. And I've given women that advice before that have, and I'm so lucky and glad that they, talk to me about these things. But I have said, go look in the mirror tonight. And I get pretty forceful. And I'm like, tell yourself you're good enough. Write it on the mirror. Write it down. Write yourself a note with some lipstick. You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are good enough, because you are.
There's so much power in I am.
Yes.
So much power in I am. Just a change of language even can just shift your whole thought process, the brain, and receiving things and starting to believing things. And with that repetition, and then you actually start to believe it within yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love this. I love this so much. And I love all of you. And I think that you're all beautiful.
You are beautiful. And you, Tracey, what is your advice for these people who don't feel beauty?
I think that too, a lot of it does stem back to that inner child and that broken little girl, right? That has never been healed. And that's where I think that you need to spend a lot of tea time with the soul and reconnect with that little girl and, reaffirm her that it's all okay. And that she's grown into this beautiful woman that you are today, and that she doesn't have to worry anymore, and it's all good. And because of her, you are that incredible, beautiful woman that you are today. So I think just that reconnecting in the heart with that little girl, and the affirmations and the I am, that's just, words are so powerful. Words are so incredibly powerful. And everything starts and ends with language, right?
Well, and sensory too, with smells and all those things, right? Like, sorry, like it can take you back to these moments that in life where you're like, that was just so beautiful, right? Or like, I have certain shampoo smells that take me across the world, right? And it's such an interesting perspective. But what I wanted to say was, like, with my grandma, like, she would say, like, your teens, your 20s, you're figuring things out. You really don't know. You start to come to at your end of your 20s, and then your 30s, you get it. And it's like your 40s, like, you're rocking it. But she kept like saying, like, it just gets better and better as you go along. And she really enjoyed like her 50s and 60s and seeing this confidence and someone aging with grace. Like, it's like such a unique life journey. I don't know how else to describe it,
and I think that this is a perfect segue for our next show, because I think that this would be a perfect conversation to have, like, follow up with, and this whole like evolution of woman. And like you say, because for me in my 50s, like, I wish I could go back and talk to that little girl when she was a teenager now, right? Because life is just so much different. And so I think that is a great way to wrap up our very first ever Beyond Beauty talk show, Real Women, Real Conversations. And I hope you'll all join us back here in 2 weeks at the same time for a follow to whatever it is that we feel inspired to talk about the next time. So thank you, Heidi, Denelle, Christelle, for your time.
Thank
Thank you for sharing your heart. And
you are beautiful.
We're all beautiful.
You're all
beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Love you all.
Love you. Thank you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye-bye.